In a world where everyone says hello,
they dare to say.
Yeah.
G'day. Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, g'day!
Yeah, g'day. Yes. Good day. Yeah.
G'day.
G'day. Yeah. G'day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good day.
Wow, wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, g'day!
G'day. Hey. Yeah. G'day. Yeah. G'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah. G'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everybody.
Welcome to Yeah G'day.
Yeah.
The complete guide to Australia.
Another week,
Another day is here.
another subject, another guide to this great wide land. Is that what we refer to as? The lucky
yeah,
country?
I
don't
think
know,
it's in
something
the
like that.
national anthem somewhere. Australians all across the great wide land.
yes,
we
yes.
join hands.
Waltzing Matilda, absolutely.
yeah, I think it's one day we'll do it. We'll pull that apart, piece by piece for an hour episode.
we can do an episode on Gert by Sea alone, can't we?
I love Gert.
Yeah.
Tim,
Yeah,
I come to you again with an issue.
right.
So my issue this week.
I should be called the problem solver.
Yeah, let's just call this Tim Fixes Leon's Problems.
Yeah.
Or the world's problems. Tim, my issue this week is that I want to shake things up because I think the best thing about any podcast is no consistency.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So I think really shaking things up, keeping people on their feet, keeping listeners on their earbuds, I think it's the way to go.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture, yeah.
So I was trying to think you and I talked last week that we both have our fringe shows coming up.
We do
in
indeed.
Melbourne. And I was like, what am I going to do after Fringe? Like, obviously the podcast will continue. Don't worry, guys, we're not splitting up, even though we'll be super famous.
What, you'll want another project for afterwards?
That's what I'm thinking. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm extremely talented. I'm very creative. And I'm a real catch as well.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
Radio.
what am I going to do? And it came to me. It came to me in a dream.
As these things usually do.
Yeah. And I thought, Leon, after your first stand-up comedy show and this podcast of a year, it's time to make a feature-length film.
Oh, definitely.
Not a short film.
You've probably got financial backing at this point to do it, so why not?
Yeah, but not a short film, a feature-length film. I'm
Feature
talking 2.5 hours, balls to the wall film.
Okay, sure.
Not a balls to the wall. That's another
No,
project I'm working
Keep the
on.
balls in your pants, yeah.
So the issue is I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do it on? I need a topic. I want something that's exciting. I want something that's exhilarating. I want it to be like Mad Max, but after Mad Max had cocaine or something. So like Mad Max on crack.
Right, yeah.
So I want it to just be constantly. Like people will be crying because their insides will hurt so much from the action.
Okay, sure.
So
sure.
the thing is though, I want the story to be based in some truth. I want some reality to it.
You want some reality.
And I also think that in terms of getting backing, it'd be great if I could get, the government of Australia on board to fund it, but also
Okay.
the world.
So something like something from Australian history, perhaps?
History is good. And the other thing I've been learning, because I've obviously done a lot of research into films lately, as you can tell.
Sure.
Another thing I found is that war films
They do.
are really good. Like Captain America, the greatest war film ever made,
Yeah.
is really good.
It's very realistic as well,
And
yeah.
Dunkirk was pretty good. I prefer Doing Kirk. But yeah.
Howdy, Kirk.
But I was like, so a war film. But
A war film.
A war film that encapsulates everything else. So Tim, I come to you saying,
Okay.
what have you got for me? Do you have a solution?
Well, I mean, World War One and World War Two have been done, haven't they?
oh, yeah.
So you can't make another film about those wars. But it's hard because, Australia doesn't have a lot of war history.
No, we only fight in other people's wars.
There is something in the middle, though, between World War One and World War Two. Not everyone's aware of it. And let me tell you, you want to see Mad Max on cocaine?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly the idea. Have you heard of the Great Emu War?
Sorry?
The Great Emu War of 1932, smack bang between the two wars. It's when man fought emu.
Holy
in a
shit.
battle for the ages.
Listeners, you can't see me, but I'm on the edge of my seat. I could fall off at any moment. I am waiting on bated
It's
breath.
a wheelchair, not a wheelchair.
Not a wheelchair.
It's
a
like
chair.
an office wheelie chair.
Not there's
as well.
anything wrong with
It's
wheelchairs.
Quite dangerous to sit
Jeez,
on there.
Tim. What do you mean, the Great Emu War?
The Great Emu War, yeah. So basically, what happened? Let's talk about the whole thing because it is a whole thing.
Oh, I need to know the whole thing. I don't even. I'm lost.
All right. Well, you definitely seem lost. Definitely doesn't seem like a contrived situation to get us into the next part.
Not at all.
No, look, the Emu War, basically what happened, I'll give you a bit of a background. So 1932, we're in Western Australia. World War One ended, what?
Don't look at me.
Couple of years ago.
You're the guy that does the history. I
like
have no idea.
About 12 years ago.
Yeah. From now.
At this point, yeah. From 1932. From 1932.
Yeah, so 12 years ago. Yeah, okay.
So basically what happened was we had all these lads go off to war. They came back. A lot of them were settled on farms because we needed farmers. We needed people to grow the food for our growing nation. Unfortunately, there are parts of Australia that just don't... It's arid. It's an arid country.
Arid is one word.
So, we're in 1932. We're in the middle of the Great Depression. The farmers are having difficulties, largely also because they're soldiers. They weren't really farmers to begin with. But then this thing happens.
Okay.
This crazy, out of this world thing happens. On their doorstep arrives 20,000 emus. Now, when I say on their doorstep, I should probably let you know exactly where this happened. So this is in the Campion district in Western Australia.
Right. So old John, soldier farmer, is just sit down, put the fire on. The kids have just had tea, tea being dinner. They've just had their tea. And he's sitting there, reading the funny pages of 1932, which, mind you, were very funny.
Oh, and probably quite racist.
And he hears, doof, doof, doof. And he goes, Margaret, there's someone at the door.
Yeah.
Can you get that?
Yeah.
And Margaret opens it and she goes, Craig, 20,000 emus.
Yeah, she did a quick head count.
He just hears her at the door for the next 10 minutes going, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me? 20,000 emus.
They say about 20,000 emus showed up. And they came to this area because... basically they learned because I think there was like drought and stuff around this period as well.
Yep.
But the emus learned that it was easier for them to go to this area because there was crops that they could eat and fresh water that was given to the livestock. Basically, they could just show up on these farms and have a free for all.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic for the emus, but not so great for the farmers who are already struggling.
Excuse me, Mrs. Davidson, can we have a glass of water, please?
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah. And here's the other thing is they started to break fences and rabbits got in. So then we won't talk about them much, but there's their allies.
I was going to say, so is this like the Emu War and the emus had the rabbits as backup? Actually, they had them as like infantrymen they sent in beforehand to fuck shit up?
Well, yeah, they were a symptom of the disease.
Were the rabbits conspiring the whole time and they sent the emus in?
Maybe that's what happened. We don't know.
All right, I'm forming a storyline for this movie
Unfortunately, I don't speak emu, so I'm not 100% sure.
So what happens next?
So basically what happens, the farmers are pissed because the emus are eating their food, drinking their water and shitting all over their land.
Shit everywhere.
Shit everywhere. And this, birds like to shit, and these are big birds.
Large.
So basically, a group of them go to the government and say, we got to do something about this. The government says, here's what we'll do.
Oh, God. Knowing the Australian government right now, this is going to be great.
Yeah. We're going to send in, I think there was 3 army guys. I'll talk about who they were in a second. We're going to give 2 of them machine guns, and we're going to give you 10,000 bullets, and you're going to cull the population of emus. Seems pretty simple, right?
Well, it sounds like, to use a bad analogy, shooting emus in a barrel, really, a very large barrel.
Yeah.
But, they're birds and you have a machine gun. That's obviously going to be, obviously the war is over now, right? Didn't they just go out there and they did it?
So, October 1932, we have Major G.P.W. Meredith of the 7th Heavy Battery of the Royal... Excuse me, I burped halfway through there.
How dare you?
Royal Australian Artillery.
Yep, good.
And he had 2 pair of soldiers, both armed with Lewis guns, which is a type of
machine
gun, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Okay? And they went out, and 20,000 emus is a lot of emus.
it's
And they like to group together.
Yeah.
But here's the thing they didn't realize. Emus are fast runners. And I don't know how they didn't realize this because it's pretty obvious. If anyone's ever seen an emu run, these motherfuckers are incredibly fast.
Yeah. My issue is, from the get-go, they gave them 10,000 rounds for 20,000 emus. So we're just going to cut it in half.
Yeah.
Unless they did some sick Matrix shit and shot 3 emus with one bullet. Like,
Well, I don't know if they wanted to kill all of the emus.
or
They just
some.
wanted to get the population
Right,
down.
okay. So,
yeah.
So motherfucking fast emus, because emus are fast.
So emus are very fast.
Yeah.
They're also pure muscle.
Yeah.
The thing about Australian animals is they are pure muscle.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
kangaroos, emus, like koalas, they are like ropey,
Yeah.
muscly. So you've got them fast. They're incredibly muscly. They're enormous creatures to begin with.
Yeah, what are they, like
And
6
they all-
foot? 7 foot? 6 foot?
I don't know.
We'll look it up later.
Big.
Big birds.
When we do our episode on the emus, we'll tell you exactly how big they are.
Stay tuned.
So anyway, all this is going down.
Yep.
So hang on, I'm looking at my notes here.
Tim's getting too excited.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
getting way
excited.
too out of. So on the 2nd of November, they go out. They sight 50 emus.
Okay.
The birds are out of range. They try to herd them together into a kind of ambush situation. A lot of the locals are actually helping at this point, helping them kind of bring them together into larger hordes.
Yep.
They start firing. The emus fucking scatter. They're out of there.
Now,
So
scatter or like strategically scatter?
it's weird because, yeah, it's kind of a strategic...
Strategic
Had a stroke
scatter.
just now. Strategic
Scatter.
scatter.
That's the word you're looking for.
That's the one. So instead of like just all running off in their own directions, they got into smaller groups and
Okay.
ran together.
So, are you trying to tell me that these emus, these 20,000 emus, were actually trained in the art of guerrilla warfare?
It would definitely seem so, yes.
Oh, god damn, Australia.
Emus have tiny heads, but they have big brains, apparently.
Maybe the brain's in their butt or something, or in their neck. Like,
Maybe, I don't know.
surely. Okay, so
I'm not a scientist.
So now, they've tried to shoot 20,000 emus at short range. It's all fallen short. It's like a
Yeah, so
misaimed.
like I mentioned, they're super muscly. So one bullet's like not even doing damage to these creatures at all. So they're vastly underestimated rather, like the artillery
how much
capacity
they
to
need.
take these birds down to begin with. And then all of a sudden you have these creatures, they're not staying together.
they're splitting
They're
up.
branching off into their own little groups and running off. And apparently...
And there's only 3 men.
So far, there's 3 men, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they're getting in trucks. They're trying to chase them. But like I mentioned, these guys are
yes.
fast. And, the terrain is rocky. They're bouncing all around. They can't aim at the birds. It's just an absolute shit fight from start to finish.
All right, I need you to pause.
Yeah.
You're getting excited, but
I'm
I'm getting
way
excited
too
because
excited.
here it is, Tim.
Yeah.
Here it is, opening scene of the Great Emu War, working title. The Great Emu War, opening scene, a panning panorama. It's quiet on the western front of Western Australia. It's the outback.
It is the Western Front,
It's
definitely.
beautiful. There's a frill-neck lizard running around. I think they're in Western Australia. And then you hear this. What's that, Tim? Oh, that's a truck going full speed ahead. But what's that ahead of the truck? About 100 meters in front of it? It's an emu going for a casual, leisurely stroll as it piss bolts at like 600 kilometers an hour. They're on the side. They've got their guns out. They've got their hairstyles, their metal, post-apocalyptic clothing. You got the emus that are just...
Why are they in post-apocalyptic clothing? This happened in 1932.
It's steampunk.
Okay,
And then
sure.
you got this emu in front that's just running, looking behind it, going, "What's this?" The emu kicks it into like 3rd gear. It goes even faster. It disappears. These guys skid to a halt, and then title: The Great Emu War.
Okay. I feel like I don't need to see it now because you've described it so...
I'm very
So
good at what I do, Tim.
specifically. Yeah.
This is why I'm getting funding.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens after they realize that they can't actually shoot a machine gun at emus off the back of a truck?
So they try this a couple times, and it just doesn't... It's just not working. That's the situation. Yeah. They keep trying. They keep failing.
Did they give up?
I think all in all, they actually only killed about 200 to 500 of the 20,000 birds.
Now, Tim, I'm not a maths man.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be 20,000 at all.
It's definitely not close to 20,000.
Sorry, they said they would kill up to 20,000 birds. So that's definitely within the up to 20,000 range.
Yeah. The funny thing is, one of the funny things is, because the ultimate funny thing is, we fought a war against emus and the emus won.
Yep.
That's the punchline of this not actual joke, actual history.
History of Australia.
The emus won this war. What's funny is, after all of this kind of shit fight went down, the Australian government offered up, they're like, this is clearly not working. This is clearly not working. We're going to offer up like a reward for every emu killed, basically.
Yep.
And
do you know how much they offered per emu?
I don't know the exact amount, but in a 6-month period in 1934, 57,034 bounties were collected.
I thought there were only 20,000 emus. Some guys just walking in with the same emu multiple times going, I killed it again.
Yeah.
It came back to life.
I think everyone was just collecting this cash because it's a hard time for the nation, and people were just like, fuck it, the emu's got to die, I got to eat.
But so if we think about those numbers, so when they started, now I believe they gave up at one point as well, did they not? I believe they gave up after the first attempt and went, we can't fucking do this, and then the farmers were like, no, you guys need to do this, and they were like, all right, let's do it again, and they did it again and again. Same thing failed. They failed.
Basically kept going like that, absolutely.
But you're telling me, so all this money's going in from Australian government's defence forces, whoever's footing the bill.
And actually, the farmers had to pay for the bullets. Everything else was paid for by the government, but the farmers had to pay for it.
That wouldn't have been cheap. But then, all they had to do was say, there's a bounty on the head of that emu, and 57,000 out of the original 20,000 emus are killed.
in 6 months.
Like, what?
Yep.
But see, you're thinking about logistically, if like a farmer's got a rifle which has better range, and he sits down and slowly picks at an emu a day or something, like that's going to be more effective than this Gatling gun going off. Because the other thing with the bloody machine gun going off,
it's incredibly loud.
the noise, and so I feel like yes, if you said, if you ever see me play Buck Hunter, which I don't know if you ever seen me play, I am very good. I'm not.
Congratulations at having a completely useless skill.
But there's a session where it's like, kill the birds that fly across or something. And, Buck Hunter's a shotgun, and I am just loading and loading faster than a 15-year-old kid who just found the internet.
Ooh.
If you know what I mean.
Saucy.
And shooting. So if you said machine gun or rifle, I'd be like, machine gun, I'm going to take out these birds. But after this history lesson, I think I'm going to go for the rifle.
I think that is definitely the lesson out of this. It's just, when you think about it, it is an incredibly absurd notion that they thought they were just going to go out with 2 machine guns and just spray bullets at these absolute tanks of animals. These creatures are enormous, incredibly fast, and built like a brick shithouse, to borrow a phrase from every Australian father across this great nation.
A brick shithouse that runs.
Yeah, basically.
I think
they are funny birds as well. We'll talk about them properly.
They're bloody scary.
Time,
I think the other thing is as you said, we've said it before. Everything in Australia is trying to kill you. This is a fact. But that means that every animal that lives in Australia is trying to be killed by another animal, which means that our animals are they're just fucked. Is the only summary of it.
Emus are surprisingly nice. Actually, they look aggressive, but they're pretty good.
Emu,
yeah. I mean, I've had a couple over for dinner. We had one live down the road. Very, very nice guy, actually.
Yeah,
always gave us presents on Christmas.
Look, Mum and Dad always told me not to judge a man by the feathers on his skin.
Yeah.
Really. So I guess it would be the movie, because that's the way this all started. This movie that we've got. So the movie, we have to show the trials and tribulations of the Australian farmers and soldiers, but I feel like I also want to shoot from the angle of the emu. So maybe I do a film where the first half is a first-person perspective from a farmer doing all this. Well, not from a farmer, from a soldier, probably the general guy, Hewlett, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
First-person perspective from him. So got him on the truck, got him chasing the emus, got him coming eye to eye with an emu, and maybe sparing a life because that emu, it wasn't its time to go.
He's got respect for her.
He's got heart. He's got emotion.
Her. Yeah.
But then we get to this, scene where it's 3 men facing off across 20,000 emus, and we cut and we go back to the beginning of the film, But this time, everything is shot first person from the perspective of the head emu. I call him Emu-geddon because it's like Armageddon, but Emu-geddon.
Right.
Working title.
Not great, but yeah,
working name.
it's
And
something.
Then we do the whole movie from their perspective. And again, we'll have an inner monologue. I think we'll have it voiced by maybe Jeffrey Rush. I
He
think.
seems like the most likely person to say no.
No, I think you'd say yes.
You reckon?
This is the best film that Australia will be releasing. Cole from the Magic Lantern podcast, which is a podcast about movies and that, who is very good. Cole will tell you that this movie is the greatest movie that Australia will release since The Castle.
I don't know. Well, that's okay. First up, The Castle. Don't even try and put yourself in the same kettle of fish. Is that something?
I think that's the term.
Yeah. As The Castle.
Okay.
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 You're making claims.
Fine.
You're making claims. You're throwing out challenges. I'm just not sure that we can rise to.
Hold on, 1930, yeah?
1932. Yeah.
Rabbit-proof fence time, that story arc, I
Possibly.
think, comes
I
around
actually
this.
don't know when that took place.
That was Great Depression as well, so it's all the same time period. 1930s. Anyway, I'm thinking a lot of British, like a lot of people here still have that British accent, that Australian British. Whatever.
True.
Can we have the emus in a monologue voiced by Michael Caine?
That would be fun.
Because I just want to see like this, again, this panoramic shot of a landscape whilst he's dipping down, drinking water. He's just going, "Hello, I'm Emu Caine," because that's all he can say. Like,
yeah, that's the whole thing.
he's like a Pokemon. All he can say is Emu Caine.
Emu Caine. Yeah.
Okay, Tim, I think this movie is a blockbuster hit. Obviously, there'll be a love interest for both the emu and the man. Maybe it's the same. Maybe the love interest is the same.
It's getting more and more like Pearl Harbor as we go on.
I haven't
which
seen
is not
that
a bad
film.
thing.
I haven't seen it.
But
film,
it kind of
or the
is because the
history.
movie's crap. But it's. I just want to see 20,000 emus running.
How do you reckon I can get the extras for that? Like, put out a casting call? 20,000 emus.
We're looking for 20,000. We've got not much money to spend on it. Yeah.
The trick is that in the movies, if they run out of emus, they actually tape a whole bunch of cockatoos together to make it look like an emu.
Right.
There'll be an ostrich that'll rock up and he'll be like, "There's no time for this. Please, Mr. Ostrich."
Cows don't look like cows on film.
No,
Yeah.
they're made of cats or whatever it is. Tim, I'm literally blown away, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because it's Australian history and it's just kind of like, of course.
Look, I haven't given you all of the very, very specifics of each attack, but I just think it's important for people to know in 1932, we fought a war against the emus in Western Australia and the emus won.
Is that what the song "We Fought the War" and the War One is about?
I've never heard that song in my life.
That's the law, sorry. I fought the law and the law won.
Fair call.
In that song, the law is emu. So, I believe I've seen a quote before. Obviously not before this episode because I was unprepared and have never heard of this topic in my life.
Of course.
But I believe there was a quote from a guy that basically said, because the emus they were taking hits and they were still going, even when they were wounded, they were just like, whatever, smell you later. Like, one bullet isn't enough. And this guy was quoted at saying, like, if the Australian army could take bullets like emus, we would be the most unstoppable army in the world.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
Is just send the emus?
And maybe fuck your movie idea.
Hey,
maybe
hold
we
on.
start to train the emus as mounts for our soldiers, or maybe we start to mount guns on the emus.
Holy shit. Because emus don't, their wings don't really function, so they don't have arms, so we replace
they're
their
all
arms
leg.
with guns.
They're all leg.
Oh my god.
We would have an unstoppable army.
Because people kept referring to emus as like tanks, but they are like a shitload faster than a tank.
yeah,
More agile. Oh my god, Tim.
we need to get into the emu training business.
What if we strap a jetpack to the emu and they become a flight bird rather than flightless?
Why on earth would we do that?
Because
They're just a big ball of muscle. They'd just they'd just be rolling.
then they would be literally unstoppable. Imagine a rolling emu coming at you. You can't stop that.
Nah.
I also read somewhere like a site. There was that quote about if we had emu and it would be good. And then there was another quote where it was like about them being tanks. That was the quote I was going to go for. I'd already spoken about that.
What an interesting, interesting series of words you've strung together.
If I were there as part of that war, you better believe that after the first bullet bounced off an emu, I would have dropped my spear, which would have been a pitchfork or something, I would have ripped off my shirt, painted emu markings on me, and I would have joined the fucking emu side.
Yeah.
20,001 emus, my friend.
Yeah, I would have hands straight up in the air. I'm with you guys. I'm definitely with you on this one.
I would have been their cook or something, like cooking for the emus every night.
Absolute craziness.
Bonkers bananas. If you want to read more about the Great Emu War, you can always go searching on the internet. It's interesting. It's just the dumb. You know what it is? It's very much an idea that I feel would come out of a country. I'm not going to name any names. It has some very lax gun laws right now.
Yeah,
I feel like that solution would be we had this issue with this thing, whether it's animals, people,
let's shoot
or what.
it. Yeah,
shoot them all. Shoot them all.
Yeah.
But take the worst gun possible. It's like taking a knife to a gunfight, mate. It's like taking a gun to an emu fight. That's going to be my new Australian idiom.
Taking a gun to an emu.
It's like taking
emu
a
war,
machine gun to an emu fight.
Absolutely pointless.
Tim.
Fantastic.
After that, my heart is pumping, my adrenaline's going, my appendage is throbbing, as it always is.
Hopefully your fingers you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, definitely my fingers. But more importantly, we got an email sent through to us this week.
Yeah.
Because this week is another episode of, another segment of, Dadvice.
Dadvice.
Dadvice. The song goes here for Dadvice. We've all
Dadvice.
we're all someone's daughter. That could be the song.
We've got Dadvice for ya.
Dadvice does sound like a bit of a disease. I've got Dadvice.
You're gonna read out the emu?
The emu.
Okay.
We could fully brand this show completely Australian. We could have the emu email. We can have.
No.
That's all I've got, actually.
Let's not go over the top.
Hey, you know how we always ask for fan art? Sorry, side note from Dadvice. You know how we always ask for fan art and no one ever does it? I swear to God, if someone, and I believe in God, if someone draws an emu with machine guns for arms, with like one of us on the back or both of us on the back, or just the emu with gun arms, I will kiss your firstborn, whatever. Dog, cat, lizard, child, even. I'm kissing it.
On the head.
On the head, yeah.
Not on the
mate.
mouth.
I'm a widow. But how good would that be? Anyway, all right, Dadvice.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Read it out.
So, here we go. Dear Tim and Leon. Good start. Dear's a bit formal. My name is Debbie, and I am an Australian living in London.
G'day, Debbie.
How are you, Debbie? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. I've recently been on the Tinder scene, and last night I had a very successful date.
Ooh.
Brilliant.
What does she mean by success? Does she...
Well... I'm not going to read into it. The guy was everything that I look for in a man, and the joint citizenship would be all right. In brackets, it says bloody Brexit, though. So a bit of political humour there for us. Thanks, Debbie.
Topical about 6 months ago.
Anyway, jumping the gun, talking about marriage after one date. There's just one problem. So I brought up Wasabi by Lee Harding whilst on the date, and he had no idea what I was talking about. Now, this is I think we can both agree that this is forgivable. Lee Harding's Wasabi is, a great Australian song.
It's definitely not a tick in a box, but I don't know if it disqualifies him completely.
I think it's an early warning sign, and I think from the rest of the email, it's very much an early warning sign.
Sure.
But then I brought up John Farnham and Daryl Braithwaite, and he had no idea who I was talking about.
Okay.
So first of all, the guy's a serial killer, is what I'm getting from this.
Obviously.
So do I stick it out or pack my bags and leave? How can you begin to introduce someone to the greats? Anyway, keep up the great work. Your show brings me joy and gives me purpose in life. That's fair. Keen to sort this shit out, though. Cheers, Debbie. Debbie.
Oh, Debbie. You've got yourself into a real bloody pickle on this one. Look, love, grab yourself a Coddy's cordial and come and sit down and listen to the Dadvice. Horses.
One word.
That's all I need to say. As Australians, we'll go riding on the horses. And if this bloke doesn't want to join you on said horses, then he's not worth your time as far as I'm concerned. You can't introduce somebody to John Farnham. You can't introduce someone to Dave Braithwaite. What am I talking about?
Daryl Braithwaite. We call him Dave for short.
Daryl Braithwaite. You can't introduce someone to this, okay?
You can't introduce him to Dave Braithwaite. Dave's his brother. He's very unsuccessful. He had a song called Seahorses. It wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to... You're just born knowing the greats. You've got Mahatma Gandhi, you've got JFK, you've got Harold Holtz, you've got the greats there. And on that list is John Farnham and Daryl Braithwaite, and soon to be Lee Harding's Wasabi, I believe.
Oh, it'll definitely have a comeback.
Look, Debbie. If you stand up in front of this man and say, we're all someone's daughter, we're all someone's son, and he doesn't cry, first of all, slap him across the fucking face.
If he doesn't, Joe...
We're all someone's daughter, we're all someone... How long?
Yes, how long can we look at each other down the barrel of a gun?
And then you slap him in the face and you say, that's the way it's going to be, little dud. I'll be riding my horses. yeah. And you just piss bolt out of there.
Get out of there.
Yeah, I say pack your bags and leave. I think this is fucked. There's no time to educate people when we're just trying to enjoy the greats, is there?
Absolutely
but
not.
look, love, whatever makes you happy, whatever is going to... As long as you're safe up there, as long as you're well in yourself, I'll send some money next week. And make sure you don't get into any trouble.
Yep. And just remember, Debbie, if it's not on, it's not on.
If it's not on, it's off. Much like Dave Braithwaite's career.
Yeah. I can't believe David Braithwaite.
Well, Debbie, thanks for sending that through. As I said last time, if you want to send anything through to us, we're at PO Box www.yeagerday.com, or in layman terms, that would be yeagerdaypodcast@gmail.com. You can send us an email, whether that's for Dad Device or the Harold Holt Watch.
Yes.
And it'd be great. So thanks for that one. I believe in her saying that we change her life and give her purpose in life. Like, I think this podcast is... I think we should be... Stop marking it as comedy. We should be marking it as like lifestyle
inspiration.
We've
got a lot of great ideas.
Yeah,
all of which are copyrighted. By the way,
yeah.
if
you
you're listening.
if you make the Great Emu War, I will come to your house.
And if you create emus with machine guns on them, then you're probably gonna kill us. So I won't do anything
Please
about it.
Please don't do that. I will come to your house and buy you tea. I don't want to sound too threatening.
Yeah.
We're
all someone's daughter. We're all someone's son.
Oh, Tim. Well, the Great Emu War. What a great war. The best war Australia's seen, I believe.
Definitely the most entertaining, that's for sure.
And every time I see an emu now, I'm going to say, good on you, mate. You did it. You got us. You got us that time. No. But next time, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
I'm riding with you. Do you reckon you can ride an emu? No, it's too much. We're getting to the other show. I just want to know if you can ride an emu. Someone, if you know, let me know. Right. Well... if you like this episode, if you haven't heard the other 3 episodes, the Vegemite, the Platypus, and Stevie Irwin, have a listen to those.
David Irwin.
Have a listen to those, like those, share those with your friends, your family, your nana. I know nanas love us specifically.
Yeah, I find nanas have a lot of ease clicking on podcasts using SoundCloud, iTunes. They find it very easy.
My nana usually shows me how to use social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they really can hear us as well, especially at low volumes. So share it with your friends and stuff. As I said, you can find us at our website, on SoundCloud, iTunes, any of those places like that. As always, I think we need to give a big shout out to Teylor Smirl for making us look so good.
Thank you very much. Please draw me as an emu.
Yes.
And of course to Curtis Fernance for the introduction and the outroduction music. Thanks, mate.
Please sing me as an emu.
Please guitar riff me as an emu. That'd be spectacular.
Write the score for the Great Emu War. Tim, I think you and I mentioned last time, and we definitely mentioned last time about you and I having our shows in the Melbourne Fringe Festival.
We did indeed. That's
tickets
correct.
are definitely on sale right now.
They are definitely on sale.
What's the website for that?
The
Tim
website,
Green?
I've got it right in front of me. You can go to Melbourne Fringe. That's MELBOURNE Fringe, spelled FRINGE, in case you didn't know how to spell either of those words, .com.au. And there's links to get tickets there. So you're looking for my show, which is Jim with a T, and Leon's show, which is
Talk Show with Myself.
I allowed him to say it.
Thanking you.
Yes, you're welcome.
So buy the tickets there. It's really the first live show of the podcast. We're just not telling anyone, and we're actually not going to be on stage together.
Yes. So in a way, it's nothing like a live version of the podcast.
I think if you have to watch both of our shows, and if you piece it together, actually, we're having a conversation. Really, I think.
There are large stretches in my show where I just stand silently as if listening to Leon speak.
Waiting for my response.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All of that is brilliant. Thanks everyone for your support. We're going great guns with the relaunch, and we're loving it, and we're loving you, and we're loving life. Live, love, laugh. Trademark. Don't steal that.
Live, love, laugh, emu.
Yes, emu. There's
I
nothing.
think emus are my new hero.
They won the war. They won every war.
They won the battle and the war. Yeah.
When World War III comes around, I'm sending emus.
Bless
in.
them all.
Great, wonderful,
Fantastic.
Okay. I need to stop because I'm actually so amped about emus.
I'm pretty excited too. I'm very excited.
Imagine if we put armor on the emu, that would be double the strength.
Okay, we got to wrap this up. We got to wrap this up.
So, as always, every week, yeah, g'day Tim.
Yep, g'day Leon.
Yeah, g'day everyone.
Yeah, g'day everyone. Catch you on the flippity flop. Emus.